Welcome back. As you may know, I reorganized the armed forces in the last episode. For those of you who do not want to sit through all the details, basically what I've done is gone through and reshuffled some of the higher command figures, put some of the appropriate people, both historically and talentedly, into some of the better positions, and started to send units to good starting positions for a conflict coming up. So we will start the clock running here. We just got the land power effect and supply transportation research has advanced. Yeah, we're not going to push. I think we're down at medium popularity or something again and no longer high popularity. We're going to load the cavalry division here. Send them to East Prussia. Special Forces branch. Technology has improved. Okay, that's grayed out now. Bunch of bonuses there, and somebody stole our blueprints. Okay. Officer recruitment will be very useful. Getting these built will be both useful in the terms of, in the war, but also in reducing or increasing our practicals for building light vessels. So we're going to build 2 more of those. And we're going to start in on some infantry divisions here. Use the BlackICE method of 1 main brigade and then support units. There we go. That should be a fairly balanced infantry division. You got your infantry, your artillery, any tank, recon cavalry, engineers, and your HQ. It doesn't have anti-aircraft, but we're going to hopefully control the skies fairly well. So we'll put a couple of those in the production queue there. Build a couple of more motorized anti-aircraft units as well. close air support technology is improved there. I don't want to get too behind at all on the air power. I want to try to win the air power war to some degree simply by having the best aircraft. Need to have enough of them, but since we've moved, let's tell you what we're going to do. Well, we're going to wait a bit before we do more reorganizing. As you can see, there's many direct command units there. They should be in a hierarchy situation. Now you can see we've fully got the border with France manned, but no fortifications as of yet. But they're in the building process. Not in the queue, but through effects. Okay, fighter bomber prototype advanced as well. So I'm not going to research carrier aircraft at the moment. I also like to build some of these units. They're semi-motorized. They're fairly quick. But they're a lot cheaper than if I went full motorization. Okay, now we've got all those up to the 35 level, so I think that's fair at best, but I want to move some of the tech over here, research designs here. Yes, we want the SSHQs. They will be useful for controlling our hope-to-be soon conquered lands. Battle Commander recognition has advanced. I'm going to take that off because we're not going to push it that fast. The SSHQ that we just clicked on. Send resources to Franco. So let's, before we decide to do that or not, let's take a quick look at what's going on with Franco here. For this view, it's probably best to go to the flags. Clearly see. Okay, Franco's clearly winning this war. There are some minor fortification levels there. They're keeping Madrid held, but he's going to win the war. So we can either not click this and let this rest, but for 200 money, don't know whether those are dollars or Reichsmarks or pounds or whatever, but 200 and an improvement, but only 2, but still we're gonna go for it because it's not that much in the way of supplies, metal or anything. So we're gonna send resources to Franco. Schmeling gets knocked out by Joe Louis, of course. Sad day for the Reich. What's happened to Aryan superiority and all that stuff. Don't know how much it says it here, but after the war, they've become quite good friends. Well, I don't know, good friends, but friends. Joe Louis ends up being an elevator operator because of basically racism at the time. Though I'm sure he wasn't very well educated or whatever, so not suitable for, educated for higher level jobs. But he really wasn't able to live off of his fame as sports stars can do so today. And after the war, Schmeling got a car dealership and went back and met Lewis and helped supported him a bit after the war. So this upsets us a bit, so you can see increases our descent. Meeting with Hitler. Schuthness? Oh god, I'm probably butchering this name too. But we can just call him Edmund here. Do we agree to the truce? Non-aggression pact, whatever. With Switzerland or not? Well, I don't see a downside at the moment because we're not planning on invading Switzerland for quite some time, if at all. And air bases in Austria, yes. Ostmark, that's... we also need to... Since we stopped that, now we're going to switch this over to armored HQs. And we're going to increase thickness of armor. We've got British blueprints. We stole some. CAG fighter to level 2. Well, that's good. Petain makes a speech down, I believe, in Marseille. It is. Warning of the dangers of Germany. Damn, what are they doing? Figuring out we might be dangerous? That ain't good. We'll go back to this view. Artillery unit training advanced. That's good. So now we can start increasing the combined arms effects of artillery. artillery unit. No. No. Oh, our regional coal reserves rated by locals. Well, that isn't going to hurt us because we have overly too much energy. The 5-mark plan. That was a plan that people could save up, what was it, 5 marks either a week or a year or whatever, put into the, get stamps put in their book to save up for a car. This really helps the German economy, because if people are making money in good jobs as they were doing so better, and then spending money on things, particularly foreign things, it would hurt Germany's economy, because they were having a bad situation with international currencies, trying to get enough of them, and even being spent locally, internally, and for German produced goods. If their goods aren't available, it will increase inflation. And since Germany is moving more and more over to a wartime economy, that means there's people with jobs making money, but not necessarily consumer goods for them to buy. So this 5-mark plan claws the money back into the German government's hands. It's keeping the people from debt spending and buying the car today and then having to pay it off over a long time. And so they're keeping them out of debt in that sense. It's paying for the rearmaments program as well, because they can re-spend the money on the rearmaments program. And it's also beneficial is they weren't producing enough Volkswagens to anywhere near meet the demand at this time. So instead of giving them the car today and having, pay it off over years, have them prepay it, helped out the German state greatly. So that's a very important thing. But with this plan and goes through, it's going to give a lot of cheap cars to people, so it reduces dissent in the nation. The Manchurian Aviation Company wants to buy some Ju-88s for transportation purposes. Alright, we'll sell them that. Diplomatic report. The Czechs are trying to rally the national populace, forever faithful. That is not necessarily very good news for us. Now here we go. The Limes program. This is the West Wall. These are some blueprints of the bunkers that were being made along the West Wall. And so this will secure the borders here. Like I said, they were in production already, so now we have level 2 pillboxes, not the fortresses, but the level 2 pillboxes here. So now these lines are much more secure for us with the sort of minimum defensive capabilities here now. We've also wanted to point out, let's move these over here. I'm starting to organize my Air Force in this way, in that here under this Fliegerkorps F we'll have the fighters. Moved up here. Is Fliegerkorps C, which will have our naval-based naval air. And Fliegerkorps B will be our bombers. So supply organization has advanced, okay. University Technique. Basically, it's a very large hospital. The Iranians would like us to build for them. in Tehran. This would improve our relations with Iran some. Having a much improved thing, picture of the architect, give some more details there. Other diplomatic reports, the Czechs are doing military operations and preparing the defense of their nation. This might not be good for us, and we're gaining a lot of threat from Czechoslovakia because they're waking up to what we may want to do to them. And we just got the supply organization, but we're not going to keep doing that. Recon research. And another aircraft. Go with those. And now let's look at some of these HQs here. List would be a good one to give. This he has heavy artillery, but heavy artillery isn't all that great against armor. And that someday, yes, I'm looking, I know what will happen. We'll be facing lots of Soviet armor. We're going to do a part 2 here, not on this episode, but of reorganization now that the units have moved to sort of where I want them for the time. Here we go. And we have a possible ally here. Italy. Because of various events that we have had and paths that we picked, including cost, because some of them remove diplomats from our corps, we now have the chance to invite Italy in our faction. Since we're going down that path, it's better to get them in earlier rather than later. So we will invite them in to our faction here. So yes. Now here, pact of steel effect. Supplies, because we're now trading better with Italy, and we're sharing some research here, so it improves our efficiency. PD Tanganyika was a ship that was purchased, that sort of a passenger ship of a sorts, and we have a chance to send the Tanganyika around Africa with a bunch of people that might be useful to us around, and have them visit a few countries, so that will help out. So we can do that. I think we can afford to do that. Aero engine research has advanced. That's good, because that's used across all platforms. So we're going to improve our light bombers. Daimo, the Seagull, is a magazine on Zapat, a nice resort town in the area of Danzig, which right there, outside the city, but in the Danzig free city zone. Yes, good idea. Help us out. Nightlife. Sort of a regional playground there. A lot of Nazis visited there at the time. That's Goebbels. That's the Automobile Club of Germany, basically, which I saw added because their flag there. I thought it was very interesting that they had the American flag out there for. These are photos from the magazine. And why would they be flying in the 1930s so prominently along with the German flag, the American flag? I just thought that was interesting because it wasn't specifically for, American tourists. They weren't. I understand why not the Polish flag or something, but I would have thought, either the British or the Swedish or something. I don't know, but thought that was interesting. It's also a health spa there for the kind of improvement in general, sort of beach holiday fun. So that reduces our descent because we have holiday zones for the people. We're slowly getting that stuff upgraded. That's a lot of the upgrades are the Austrian units. Now we sold. Maybe that's why we have the American flag out there. Invite Americans to come over, and we can steal their technologies. But gag bomber improvement there. 3-man turret. Like I said, that's what makes the German tanks at this time so much better than particularly the French. But even like the Czechs had 2-man turrets and such, the coordination. Another diplomatic report. Time magazines. On the cover of Time, the president of Czechoslovakia on the time. We really don't necessarily. It's not good for us to have the Czechs get prominent positions. So this hurts our relationship with the Americans. Infantry support tank has improved. We don't want to keep improving that. Seeing if there's anything particularly behind here that I'm concerned about in research. Bank for International Settlements. In my opinion, it's always good. Give them supplies, get money, and it increases our ICs. So basically, we're doing better international business. And the 7th Flotilla, that's also useful. We want the subs. With BlackICE, you do need to do your own production, but there is some production built into the system there. Attach it to our U-boat commander. And see here, this is bringing up our practicals with our building coastal submarines. We will have a use for those. I want to put a low-skilled commander on it and have them. That wrong place. Also attach him to the submarine. And since we just got those, but again, we're going to continue to build 2 more coastal submarines here. And since we're already in that, we're going to build 4 more coastal, or 2 more additionally. Gotta keep on top of some of this, because these right now I just want them to sit here and do nothing, and I want to keep the rest of the production going now towards the military. As you can see, we're getting pretty good on those. I want to take a quick look to see if there's any more concentrated points that I need to continue to focus on, like here. Wherever you can get a force multiplier, you take it, because it will have much greater effects in the long run than an extra couple of divisions right now being produced. Getting these factories built will mean a lot in time. We want those at the top of the production. They're going to push a few things down, I know, but get them up there, keep them going. And flying boat prototypes have advanced, that's good. German-Polish trade agreement. Sort of interesting how much there was cooperation between these nations at this time. We can take this, get some metal, which we don't need, and increase our raw materials, which we don't know that we need so much, but we will lose some money and supplies, and energy, and improve our relations with Poland. I don't think we're going to do it at this time, because it just isn't that useful for us at this moment. So, it was a historic agreement, they did do it, but we're not going to do it. HQs. So we progressed with that, and we're going to mountain HQs. That'll be the most efficient now. Gun turrets have advanced. Switch to ammunition capacity. Arc Royal is launched. Okay, the Pact of Steel. So, we are signing a bit earlier than historical, as you can see by the date, the Pact of Steel between Italy and Germany. So this is because we got them into the game mechanics, into our alliance earlier than normal. So we'll gain a little popularity. And more HQs. 4 HQs and a army HQ, so there, we have those there. But we do have these here that we will be using later. They will help us with security. Shouldn't be mumbling, should I? Okay, let's see. Amphibious warfare equipment, that would be here. So we've got that. It's helping us move towards marine. That's just a little too early to start researching now. search that. The Zeus Z1, a mechanical computing machine as opposed to electronical. One of the sort of founding elements of computers. This will help our mechanical engineering technologies and Japanese youth leaders. Japan sends a bunch of youth leaders to Germany at this time. It'll help our relations with them. German mills operation, another German technical publication there. Road networks have been advanced. So, that's good. Gotta try to keep this moving here a bit. Same national unity, but reorganization rate, which will be very critical in the long run. Okay, Major General Student. Current student, we can appoint him if we like to, though it will cost a bunch of supplies to start training our airborne forces for that. So yeah, good leader for that. For some reason, these events they're pausing the game like I want, but they're not popping up. Don't know why. Okay, improved security units and advanced to 1. Now we're going to cancel that. Aerial mines. I like naval air operations, so that would be useful. Okay, I think we're going to end this session here now with another tech popping up. Truck and prime mover reliability has increased. This is going to be something that in Hearts of Iron 4 I'm really looking forward to, is reliability, is with breakdowns or lack thereof for certain vehicle types would be a really good tech. I wonder if they got the idea from BlackICE or not, but I did see a posting that some of the devs played BlackICE, but they didn't like it. Don't know exactly what they didn't like about it, but they didn't like it too much. I think it was just too much complication and stuff, and so that they wanted to go in a different direction, as opposed to didn't think it was well executed. That's how I took it. Okay, well, that'll be it for this episode. We'll be making more soon.